Live. I guess so. Hopefully. We'll wait a few minutes with the one or two people that are in here so far. Don't expect a lot since it's kind of last minute, but we'll wait. Wait a few minutes. Okay. All right. Excellent shirt. Yes, I agree. Wish a new album would hit. It's been like 8 years. They keep promising. They're in the studio, so I'm hoping a new one is soon. They said that they're recording it back in January, so I'm hoping. They also had like all their equipment stolen like 2 years ago out of their truck, which sucks for an indie band because it's probably like $20,000 worth of equipment that they can't afford to replace. I think they did get it back though. They found out who did it. We're talking about Windhand, everybody. So yeah, give it a couple more minutes here, and we'll get into it. All right. It's these arrived kind of a day too later than we thought they were going to, but it's fine. 4th of July. Plus people were off Friday. Friday was like a holiday. These came in. I've already opened. These are sealed, but we received multiple copies. So I already opened ours and inspected it, and they're fucking phenomenal. I just wanted to open these up to kind of give long awaited, and we appreciate your patience. It's taken way longer than it should have. We'll do Hide and Go Shriek first. I've never done an unboxing. I don't watch unboxing videos, but I kind of get the gist. If you need to see anything, just comment. I can see it. Hide and Go Shriek. There you go. Very nice. Very these are a little bit better than kind of our Rumpelstiltskin Frogman sets that were out. I think anyway. Again, I'm not a huge packaging like the boxes and stuff. I just want the movie. But I don't mind when they look like this. So we'll take this shrink wrap off. All right. There we go. Pardon me for my struggles. There you go. Without the shrink wrap. Really nice sort of matte box. They are thick boys and girls. That's good too. I like thick girls. There we go. Earl did a bang up job. I really love the white. I when he first showed it to us, I was like, I'm not 100%, but then like I saw the whole shebang. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. You just don't think of white when you think of Hide and Go Shriek because the movie's so fucking damn dark through the whole entire movie. All right, so first we'll do this. I love this poster that Earl did. Earl's very great at utilizing what already exists because that's what we want to do. We like creating new art, but like we also want to keep that. Ryan and I grew up in a video store essentially, so we like to keep it as close as we can. But this is kind of like the original, the little banner that they have there, the OG poster that was for video stores. So it's not double-sided, just one-sided. But I love it because, in the 80s, they always would put this big banner at the bottom with the billing block. Really cool. These posters I can get behind. That's why I'm always like, I like the new art that's created for certain releases, but like, not ours, but like other companies. I'm like, that art's cool, but I don't want that art on on my wall. I'd rather have this. Oh shit, y'all thought you went out of business. Nah, not close. We got too many things. Got too many stores. Keep us in business. Now, if we were just in the Blu-ray business, probably. But we got too many things going on. Here's the booklet. Uh, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his last name. We have a new booklet guy. His name's Doug. I'm drawing a blank on his last name. I am so sorry. Actually, you know what? I'll fix this. Let me just look at my email here. Doug McSee. That's what he puts. Oh my gosh. Doug, what's your last name? Doug, what's your last name? I don't see his last name. Doug McSee. That's what we'll say. He is he's good. Booklet, collection of essays. I love his. So he took over. Earl was great too, but we wanted to kind of vamp up the books a little bit. And he does a great job. You can see the hide and go shriek like tags here. There's a. You can't really see this on the way. Let's see if I can angle it. Anyways, full cast credits here, and then the billing block on the side. Then we have the text of the contents, table of contents with all of the writers. So we have myself. I don't know why I'm first. I shouldn't have been. Alexandra Helen Nicholas, Stephanie Crawford, Jason Kleberg, and Michael Verratti all wrote little pieces on the film and kind of the cultural, low budget slashers, which mine focuses on. Here is our slipcover, which I really like. This kind of is embossed right here. Pretty cool. This is embossed here. Really love the slip for this. This is all Earl. Let's see, legendary Doug McClure. Possibly. I don't know his last name, actually, because I just always see Doug McSee. But that makes sense. Bro, will you ever do a Screamcast show again? I love you guys. No, Screamcast is officially retired, but I appreciate it. We quit at the ultimate high of like 60,000 downloads, listeners, like per episode, but got burnt out, man. Here is the Blu-ray insert. I think I showed everything off the slit. This is the UHD Blu-ray combo. Again, we put the little banner on there because that's what the VHS had. And of course, this artwork is just too iconic. When I was younger, I saw this maybe when I was like 3 or 4, and I didn't like that. I don't know what it was. Just a tattoo on the foot just seems like I didn't know pain was like associated with tattoos then, but I didn't like that. It made me uncomfortable. Hide and Go Shriek, the darkest movie you'll ever see. However, this restoration is just absolutely stunning. So we have the Blu-ray here with the OG artwork, and then the UHD here with the slip cover artwork. And then on this, both the Blu-ray and the UHD are uncut. So this is the first time since Laserdisc and VHS, the film has been uncut, because there was a decapitation sequence in the film that they took out. It's not even gory, but for some reason that was going to give them the NC-17 rating. So they took it out to go in theaters, and then when it hit home video, they put it back in. But when this was released on Blu-ray, that portion was cut because, they must have cut the negative. Obviously, because we have the negative and it wasn't in there. So that negative was cut and that scene was tossed. So we took what we could find the best resolution for, and that was the Laserdisc. So we up-res that to insert it back into the movie. So you'll notice a huge difference in quality for that, 2 seconds of the beheading. But it's in its entirety, which it should be. And then we did a new commentary with Skip Skulnick, director of the film, and Mark Manos, his editor. I believe Mark Manos is an Emmy Award winner. Went on to do some crazy things. And then this whole documentary on here, Shatterproof, 44 minutes. We have interviews with Skip Skulnick, Rhea Pavia, who plays, she's the one that gets drowned in the sink. Dimitri Villard, who is the producer. Sean Cannon, which is the lead guy in the film. Spoiler alert. I guess I don't want to ruin the movie. someone doesn't make it and you think he's going to. Mark Manos, the editor, Donald Mark Spencer, who's an actor in the film, Lorene Yackel, who does audio. She didn't want to do video, but she did a lot of special effects, makeup for the film. She also supplied us with a lot of behind the scenes photos, which we put in this booklet, but also there's a still gallery on here too. There's not a lot, but they're pretty cool photos of like behind the scenes, just people being friendly and cute. We also separated the deleted scene of the beheading. It's on here by itself on the Laserdisc source still gallery. And then the whole Laserdisc is on here. You don't have to flip the disc. For those who know Laserdisc, you got to flip them. It's the Laserdisc is on here, and then the old Blu-ray for Code Red is on here, along with the restored trailer, and then the archival interviews that Bill did for the Blu-ray back then with new subtitles. So there you go. Again, tell your friends. This looks incredible. The restoration is outstanding. This was done from the interpositive. Negative is long gone. It is one of the most damaged interpositives we've ever dealt with, that's not why the holdup was for this. There's multiple reasons why these were held up. But the UHD looks incredible. There is film grain everywhere in this UHD. So if you love film grain and you love seeing it and you love seeing it do its thing, you're in for a treat, because this film, especially during I love the way it looks, but I mean, towards the end of the film, they shoot in the complete dark with just red lights, and man, it's rough. But it looks incredible on UHD. Blu-ray ain't no slouch either. It's just not as, banging, I guess you could say. Does anybody need me to show anything else? Because I know people are very particular about these things. I think I covered it all. I'm putting it back in its case. I showed the poster. Let me put that back. Actually, it's probably easier if I put the slipcover in first. There we go. There we go. Done. Student bodies, this art, we had this done, just incredible. It wraps around, and then you see the breathers, paper clip. This also has the Paramount Scares logo, which we're doing for all the horror titles that we're doing from Paramount coming up, which we're super excited. Which is Paramount Scares, other people are doing it too, but this is one of the Paramount titles that we control. All right. Any questions? No, look at that. It was a bajillion years ago, and we apologize greatly for that. However, it's worth it. Well, it's not worth it. I hated the wait too. Trust me. We were so irritated and pissed the entire time. We'll be more clear of what actually kind of went on during this time. It sucks, but we're appreciative of everybody that helped us and collaborated to get these out, and was able to get our work of our restorations out there. So anyways, yeah, there you go. Without the glossy saran wrap, shrink wrap, student bodies, title number 64. There's the art, the girls. This is essentially, for those who aren't huge student bodies fans that don't know, there is a promo photo that they did for the film with all the women lined up in the classroom, and that's what they did. They just made it skulls. Pretty cool. This is a double-sided poster. This is, the OG poster here with your billing block, and then they took the billing block. Earl did this, which I liked. I actually kind of like this a little bit more. We probably should have done it on the Hide and Go Shriek side, but noted. We'll take note. Here is the booklet, collection of essays. Really nice finish. Thought probably won't be able to see this either because I don't know how to hold these things, but we got the cast, and then we have the billing block, and then all the writers. Myself again as first. I hate that. Alexander Heller Nicholas is second. Gene Hobson, who's the composer, which there's a CD in this. So Gene actually wrote a piece, I believe, for the record that came out, which if you bought the bundle, it's there. Midnight something, I think, put out the record. It's a very cool score. And what's neat about it, I don't know if we talk about it too much in the making of, is that you could overlay the score to basically anything. It doesn't really portray itself as a comedy, like a comedic horror score. It can be serious. It's very good. And then Clint Kelly, who is our Sledgehammer owner, he wrote a piece for this, who's a dear friend of mine too. And the lovely Miss Stephanie Crawford, who I should have mentioned again in Hide and Go Shriek. Someone mentioned Screamcast. Steph was part of the Screamcast for a long time, and I love Stephanie. She's great. This is probably one of the best slips I've ever seen us do. It is absolutely incredible. I love the finish on this. That ending, or the back. Whoever gets the question of who is the half, I'll send you a. Where is these things? I got so many of these. We'll see who answers first. What is the half? Where's the UHD? Oh yeah, here we go. I'll send you a test disc that is fucked up. So you can kind of see what we were dealing with and what happened during this release. If anybody can tell me what the half is, I'll send you a test disc. So yeah, this is Student Bodies. And these cases, these Amray, whatever they are, cases, they're solid. This one's one of the triple ones because there's a CD in there. But there is your Student Bodies insert side. Oh, you know what I didn't do on Hide and Go Shriek? I didn't pop out the. There you go. It's a creepy scene, actually. If it's out of context, not very fun. These have these triple things in here, so you always have to be careful because these things just kind of like, pop right in and out. So just be careful. Could result in floaters just because, they don't make 4Ks wider than this with the triple discs unless you do a different case. So there is the UHD. There is the Blu-ray, so that wraps around again on the ladies' faces. There you go. Patty with the one eye. And then Gene's score on CD. Sorry, I was looking at the thing and not actually looking at what I'm showing. Now, this is pretty cool. The back of this is a little incorrect because we had some time. So when we originally got the Blu-rays, we had someone else doing it that had a higher encoding process. But the menus, they were off. They didn't look right. So we redid the menus. That's one of the reasons why it took a little bit longer. So this comes with a new commentary with Kristen and Matthew and myself. So the two leads in the film. And then we did a new making of with Kristen, with Matthew, Cullen Chambers, who plays the blind guy, Sarah Eckhart, who plays Patty, the princess. Sarah Eckhart's like a governor or something, like not a governor, but she works in Austin. She works at, we actually shot this like at the Capitol, her interview. I thought it was crazy. We had to do all the security stuff and all that. Jennifer Rose, who's Mickey's daughter, who has a lot of insight. Jean, who did the score. Kristen Nelson, who worked on costumes. Fred Berner, who was he kind of did everything. He worked just behind the scenes, and then Susan Vogelvang, who also did a lot of the production side of thing and helped with the casting when they shot this in Texas. And then we have the full Laserdisc presentation. the older 1080p Blu-ray that Olive put out. That the master. So this master has been used since way back. It's actually like 720p upscaled to 1080p for Blu-ray. So it hasn't been scanned. Like this movie hasn't been scanned in 20 some years, is what I was told. So this film elements were really, really rough. I think they were just maybe afraid to touch them. So this, we had a lot of issues with with this as well, with cleaning it and restoring it and everything. And you get to see, I popped in the Blu-ray for this, and it's night and day. Like it's crazy. And then yeah, the restored trailer and newly created subtitles. The other thing that we were able to do on this is, so when we first announced this, someone said about a TV version of Student Bodies, and I've known about this movie for a long time, loving it to death, and I've never known there to be a TV version. However, it is correct, there was a TV version of the movie on USA for Up All Night, and the only thing that existed of that was basically someone took their version off of that they taped off television and put it on YouTube, and that's all we could find. We've researched everything trying to get the footage for that, and someone sent us to it after we announced this, and even the disc was being processed. But being that we went ahead and we did the Blu-ray, redid the Blu-ray because of that issue, I was like, oh shit, we can actually include it now because we found it afterwards. So there's not a full presentation of the movie because it's literally one sequence, just one scene of dialogue. And so we included that on there so you could see that dialogue. It's fine, you're not missing much. But yeah, that is our releases for Hide and Go Shriek. Let me look at this reverse artwork for Hide and Go Shriek because they didn't show that. Boom. Oh, should have showed it when I could. There is the high def right before she gets her head cut off. It's Bruce Springsteen's girlfriend, by the way. Bruce Springsteen was on set shooting this movie. No shit. So that, wait, make sure I got all that stuff together. All right, there you go. Yeah, so that is Student Bodies, Hide and Go Shriek. Very, very excited about it. Just, we're very pumped that, we have this time, like, to just take a break from these titles because they're out. Oh, Student Bodies, let's see, anybody? You're right. It was a fly. You are correct. That is the half kill in the movie. I think you're in the Discord, so I'll just get your information and send that to you. So yeah, no, we're super excited about these releases and being done with them. Happy Hell Night is next, which we're super excited about to get that out and done. That should hit that time. I think we said July 20th, might be a week maybe after that, because these took a little bit longer. So like these were, I don't know, we were supposed to get them on Monday and they arrived today. I think Happy Hell Night's going to be like just a few days later, so probably kind of the same thing. And hopefully Gator Bait will probably be a few days, because everything, like I said, everything just kind of shifts when something's delayed. These aren't delayed anymore. We're just waiting on them. But yeah, we're happy to get over this bump, getting back to normal, and just actually announcing and releasing movies, because we haven't stopped doing anything as far as restoration and acquiring titles during this time. We've actually just been restoring and shooting, shooting extras, like shooting a ton of interviews. We have a lot of restorations that just wrapped up, and basically we have, I think there's like 8 titles that are on their way to us now right after. So these arrived, and then we have like another, it's like 6 or 8 titles that are coming that will be in, and then we'll maybe announce maybe 1 or 2 of those. Some of them are Gray Face. One is the Cellar Dweller, our first kind of inaugural Cellar Dweller release that we'll announce. And then after Gator Bait comes out in August, we should have September ready for a bunch of stuff, which we're super, super excited about. Yeah. So very, very exciting. Put this poster back in there. Boom. So there you go. Again, one more time. Student bodies. I can go Shriek. Very, very cool. All right, so let's see. I have an double. Oh yeah, it has like the Jekyll and Hyde one on it. Yeah, it's the same restoration that has been around. So the Olive release, that double bill, the 88 films, all those are the same restoration for Student Bodies, which is the same like 720p version that was on television, like HD television back in the day. So yeah, world of difference, well worth the upgrade and doing it. I don't really like, so my thing is that I don't necessarily like, I don't mind upgrades. I do like upgrades, but I don't want to like do like, I don't want to be that, you know? So it matters on kind of how the film has been presented in the past. So if there's something like inherently wrong or something that we see where it's like, oh man, we could do so much better than that, you know, and nothing against Bill Olson, you know, he basically had what he had. Like he was one of the very first, kind of boutique DVD places back in the day. And then he started doing Blu-rays. So, and yeah, I think I have every Code Red release ever. So yeah, it was just a lot of stuff we could improve on that. The same thing with Student Bodies. Just knowing, you know, because the main thing is when you get a film and you're looking at like, oh, maybe we can re-release that. Like, when was the scan done? What does it look like? If there's not really much improvement, like on a Blu-ray, because like these companies, they put out a Blu-ray, they do a 4K scan of the Blu-ray, and then or a 4K scan of the OCN. They put out the Blu-ray, and then like 2-3 years later, they just do a UHD. Sure, you got the HDR and the Dolby Vision, but like as far as like the picture quality changing, there's not a huge shift in that. You know, it's minimal. And like if you're gonna scan in 4K, just release it in 4K. Like I don't believe in doing that. Now, earlier on with like the jar, we probably should have done a UHD because we did a 4K scan on that. We just weren't sure. Like it was too early to kind of tell. You know, the film never had a release, so I was like, is it going to do well? Because 4K is just 4K is expensive. So if you're going to do it, just do it. So that we'll probably give that maybe an upgrade down the line. In 4K. But like as far as like doing upgrades, like I got to have a movie that has been suffering on Blu-ray for a number of years, like Happy Hell Night. God bless Bill and his work, but like the movie doesn't look very good to kind of today's standards with what we can do, with these laser graphic scanners and 4K. There's just so much more you can do. And, so we like to improve on those. So those are kind of like when we look at upgrades, that's kind of what we're doing. So, not saying that we'll never do, this was, released by a company on Blu-ray, let's do a UHD. Sure. If it's something that we're passionate about, we'll want to do it. But yeah, I definitely want to be able to improve a lot of the picture quality. Hi, is there any update on City Lights titles, Fresh Kill, LA Crackdown? Yeah, they're all still coming in that batch of movies that I told you earlier that are on its way. There's probably 3 or 4. My dog's whining. Probably about 3 or 4 City Lights titles in there. Fresh Kill is one of them, so that will be soon. Oh yeah, let's scan down. Let's see here. Old Kung Fu Master. Yeah. obviously, I think I did a video on that because someone was talking trash about that. It's like they didn't understand like what we were doing. Um, yeah, Dead Pit, what's up, man? Hey, what's up? No problem. I've never done an unboxing before that I know of. I'm excited for video shipment. Yeah, dude, Family Dinner, underrated movie, but people like give give contemporary movies a chance. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to this exactly. I hate when they do a 4K scan. Hold on 2 years for now. I mean, it depends on the company too. Like sometimes, like like if it's a studio title and this isn't, so there's a lot of variables that can go into this. Like so if it's a studio title, sometimes like studios will say we don't want to do a UHD first, we want to do the Blu-ray. Like that happens and it's like, okay, well, that sucks because we just want to do a UHD. It's hasn't been on Blu-ray before. So sometimes like studios might want to do that. It also could be a financial thing. Is there's kind of a little research that goes into this, like how well is this going to do? Should we just do a Blu-ray, and then it takes off and you're like, fuck, we should have done a 4K. And then, your license is about to expire. So you can maybe dish out a 4K real quick, or you renew the license and then, you add the 4K licensing in it. So there's a bunch of variables that can go into that. It's just that at TerraVision, we firmly believe that like it needs to have like an improved like UHD like scan and stuff like that. So that's just us. Um, yeah. Hopefully these will. I know Elena's generating shipping labels right now for the club. Club will take, I don't know, probably like 10 days, 10 business days. Don't forget those got to be sent to Jacksonville, and basically because Savannah post office doesn't scan, so they go to Jacksonville, then they get scanned. So your label will be generated for a few days before it gets scanned to Jacksonville, because the label's generated, then it's packed, and then we got to wait for the pickup, and then they pick it up, and then they do whatever they do with it, which is you can see the tracking go all over the place. But yeah, they land in Jacksonville, and then you should get regularly updated tracking. And then after the club, then everybody else, and then retail will get theirs when this is being packed for club, because the big retailers have been waiting and they have been holding packages for quite some time, which has been irritating for a lot of customers. I think that's the most thing that I see the complaints is that this is being held up by Diabolic because I placed an order Orbit. We're so sorry. In Orbit too, we apologize. I mean, they're great customers, and they've had to deal with this shit too, and we greatly apologize. Yeah, there were some tweets at the time. Yeah, I mean, like the other thing, I think you're talking about Old Kung Fu Master. The other thing with like Game of Killers and Old Kung Fu Master is those elements were wrecked. Like, and if you would put in, so like for example, like those had they were red. Suffering from vinegar syndrome 100%, and really poor condition, and plus these were like the only prints available. Like I don't know of any other prints of these movies. So when you scan those, you do your wet gate scan and everything, and they you clean it, you do wet gate scan, then you do color. So we were sourcing VHS that we could, and matching what we would have thought about the time. Plus you look at a time period of what these films look like, who made them. So you look at the director's other works, the DP's other works, try to kind of gauge like, oh, this is probably what they were going for. But the amount of work that goes into just that, when you're actually filling like emulsion scratches, and your restoration is going to be $50,000-$60,000 on cleaning those up. That movie will never ever in a million years make that much money. Like we will literally just like not probably like break even on those, because those kung fu movies don't sell. Like, we're not talking like Bruce Lee, like actual Bruce Lee. Some of those are Bruce Lee knockoffs, but a lot of these older, like, chopsaki is what they call them, these kung fu films, we love them, but they're not money makers. So putting $50,000 in a restoration, you'll be $30,000-$40,000 in the hole for forever, because they'll never make that. They'll never make it back. And plus, like, part of those films, like, I've seen so many kung fu films in the theater with prints being shown, and they look like that, and it's fantastic. Like, I saw The Kid with the Golden Arm recently, and it was just the print was beat up, and it looks so cool. So that was the whole debate, that when we did this, it was like, what if we just kind of present it as it is, because like, people really do love kind of the 35 millimeter scan stuff, which, I do too. I think that's cool. And if it has the right color correction, like, it's a cool way to view a movie. It's not taking away. We're not talking about some legendary, lost, beloved kung fu film. We're talking about kung fu movies that no one's ever heard of before, that has the first time they've ever been presented in the U.S. legally. So yeah, that's what goes behind there. Yeah, I ripped him to shreds because he just didn't understand it. He was comparing it to like Enter the Dragon by like Warner Brothers. Of course, if we had Enter the Dragon, we would have done everything we could have 100% to make it look better. But yeah, any other questions, comments, concerns that I haven't addressed? You can sit here for a moment to do a AMA, as they call it. Anything you guys are concerned about, anything I can acknowledge that's not on the blog or a previous live or update. Here's your time. This is your moment, is now to shine. All right. Well, I guess you guys got to type first. Frantically typing. Will there be any more television titles coming to Walmart? Not for the time being. We had some issues with Walmart, and not Walmart themselves, but through our aggregators, that really, really kind of fucked us up. So we backed out of that contract, and we are going with a new company. So that's what it's doing, and so it's gonna be a bit. Any surprise drops coming up the next few months? Yeah, I mean, as soon as we get back on track with, like I said, Happy Hell Night coming out, Gator Bait. We'll probably do a Cellar Dweller release in the meantime, the first one. So that's the new label that's going to focus on kind of really oddball cinema. We've got I think 4 titles locked and loaded, ready to go, and then we're working on the other 4, which we're kind of shooting extras and in the authoring restoration stage. So yeah, but we finished up. I shared it kind of in our Discord of all the screenshots of our restoration. So we've done, I think officially, I think 8 are completed, 100% done. All the extras are shot. We're basically just editing those together. We have 1 UHD coming out that's probably going to melt minds. I want to say there's close to 25 people that we interviewed from the film. I don't know what we're doing with the making of. It's going to be absolutely massive. Might be 2 parts. Yeah, it's nuts. So yeah, we just finished up that, and then working on some more studio title stuff. With the studios, I like to try to control the scanning and restoration. I don't really like studio masters to be handed over. Some of them are good, other ones not so much. No fault on them. It's just pretty particular. I had some good teachers, at VS, so I'm pretty particular about that. Bordello Blood OST, for example, Glorious Surprise. Oh, those types of things. Yeah, no. We'll have those for the record club. There's quite a few surprise drops. We did the Sin City cassette tape, which was a surprise drop. Things like that, just to if people are into them. Cassette tapes do incredibly well, so expect more of those. Hi, Brad. How are you doing? I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Any chance of the missing items can be added to the wholesale? A couple of the shirts on the main site aren't there. Don't want to bother Elena. Well, I will make a note. So Sean will have to look and cross compare them. I think you mentioned this before in the Discord, and I'm sorry. I don't think I followed up with it. Wholesale. I'll see. What would you say is one of your more underrated titles in the TV catalog to wish more people would check out? The Basement, probably. The Basement didn't do all that well. It was kind of surprising because there's a lot of work on that film. That's an example that we did a 4K scan, but when we did the 4K version of it, all you could see is white snow. It was not something that would have benefited a 4K. It would have been a lot of complaints. When I was at Vinegar Syndrome, we did a 4K of Flesh Eater, and there was a lot of complaints of how that movie looked in 4K. I think it looks great, but a lot of people don't understand film grain and what it's supposed to look like and what they're seeing. They're like, "Oh, it looks shiny. The picture's moving." Oh yeah, it's it's film grain. You're watching it go really, really fast. But yeah, The Basement. Welcome to Hell is another one that I really, really love. It was one of my favorite films that year that it came out, and I love black metal. I love all types of metal, and then when you mix kind of Satan in it, whew, I love Welcome to Hell. Plus that ending is just incredible. The waiting for all the next 15 is worth of waiting, I guess. When Happy Go, I get maybe imagine Happy Hell Night. Yeah. So yeah, as soon as that comes in, then if that's what you're waiting on, that will come out. So unless I guess you're, if you can clarify, you can message us. If you're talking about you're just waiting for everything to come out and then the 15 ship out, yes. But if it's something if you're waiting for other packages, if you did the sub and you're waiting for each one, they should have went out unless you're telling them to hold. Thanks. Will there be changes to future box sets as far as the sizing? Yeah. We've already addressed this to the company. It was the same company that's done some other stuff for us. So Best Worst Movie. The Basement, Patchwork, all of those things were done by this. So we're using two companies, so that way when one has issues on supply, we can just switch the other one quickly, because that was our main issue when starting, is that we went with one company because we're just oh, we're dedicated to you, we're just going to do this, and then something happens, problems happen, we can't get any Blu-ray cases. It's well, okay, can you find some? So we started using multiple sources. That's what we started doing at TerraVision, order to keep up with those demands and supply issues. So yeah, they did the single cases for us on that. And then when that came in, because it's the same company that just did, I don't have it here, that Be a Wicked Woman. Everything's been aces, but when they did that, they overdid the gloss on the slips, which is fine. And yeah, the sizing was just a little too small to where you got to use that, the shake maneuver. So yeah, all that's been addressed. This shouldn't happen again. Obviously these boxes are, these were made after the fact. The slips, I think, were already done previously, but these boxes were recently done. So as you can see, that's, no issues with those whatsoever. But yeah, that shouldn't happen again. Basement rocks. I agree. I bought the basement. I agree. More collabs with Aurora Borealis and Chris LaMartina. Yes. Yes. We have an announcement soon for Chris and Melissa, or Aurora, Melissa. Oh, you're probably talking about the extras. I don't think they've done anything for any of the movies. However, we're working on some other stuff with Chris and Melissa. So they're dear friends of ours. And so yeah, there's probably a couple more movies in the can that we can put out. But yeah, we love them. But yeah, any other questions, comments, concerns? I see a bunch of Gators. I agree, man. I cannot fucking wait for Gator Bait to be over. I've watched Gator Bait 2 so many times. I don't like it anymore. Gator Bait is fucking dope, though. But I will say the cool thing about Gator Bait 2 is this extended international cut that we're creating. It's so good. It's it really, like, it's kind of neat to see this, like, kind of Frankenstein thing together, of all these different kind of elements to create something that no one has ever seen before. Because there's, like I said, there's even like some scenes that didn't have sound, that were just, I guess they ended up on the cutting room floor. They didn't know what to do with them, so we're just taking that, those pieces and putting it back into this long, edited version that was probably never meant to be seen. We have permission to do it, though, so I'm gonna do it, because I think it's rad as shit. Plus, the more violence and stuff, it helps make the movie a little bit more, give it a little bit more juice, essentially. So yeah, we're really excited about it. I can't wait for it to be over. Yeah, and then we'll back to business as usual. Again, we're not going to be doing any more pre-orders or any bullshit like that. Yeah, ain't gonna do it. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it. Hooray! I agree. Will there be separate release of just the first? Probably not. No, because they're kind of just the way that we did the deal, and kind of just, it's a double feature. So I mean, yeah, it'll probably always be as a double feature. We won't release them separately. If we did that, no one would buy part 2. What happened to video violence? We've released it twice. Did a re-release on it. The Snuff Collection was through OCN, which is sold out. Then we have the version on our site, unless it's not there, if that's what you're talking about. But yeah, no, it should be. Thanks for keeping your prices reasonable, not going crazy like Red Shirt. Nothing against Michael. Obviously love Michael Felcher. He's a good pal of ours. Worked with him for years. I mean, it's all dependent on their structure internally. I think when you're in the business just for home video, it's a little bit different. For TerraVision, it's, a lot of people don't know this. We have multiple stores. We have multiple stores in Savannah. We have museums. We have multiple stores in Chicago and museums. We just opened a museum in Arkansas. Our titles are around, like 400 different stores throughout the United States, and a few, a couple hundred overseas, stock our stuff. We have the largest arcade pinball collection in the world. So we have our arcades that are in Savannah at the mall. We have an arcade at the mall, at the museums. We have Greyface, the music side of things, not the soundtracks, but like Ryan has a record label with multiple bands that are semi-popular, so we have that. Never Not Goth is our clothing line. A lot of people don't know that, but if you have a Never Not Goth shirt, that's us. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. My dog might start barking, so I apologize. But yeah, we have multiple like terms of like revenue. So we're not really fully dependent on movies selling at those price points. We can kind of keep it to, we want people to be able to buy this stuff because the world sucks and things aren't getting cheaper, and we want people to enjoy the movies. So we're not here to extort you. That's the reason why we even purchased the vinyl pressing plant. So we own our own pressing plant now. And if you've noticed, the prices on our records have actually come down from what they were. So like we were having to charge like $40 on a record. We don't have to do, like, even a triple LP was like $45, which they're still, expensive. But a triple LP. But if you look, a lot of our records are like $25, $30. That's because we could do all that stuff in house now and keep the cost down. Because even to get one record sometimes was hey, come here. It was like sometimes $20 like out the door to get to us, and then we got to charge $35 for it, which is crazy. Like, why would we do that? So yeah, thanks for everything, bringing us American Nightmare, another movie that doesn't do that well, but we love Debbie. I confused the name of that movie. 15 plus a new. Yeah. It will all ship out if that's the movie that is holding it up. Then I mean, Gator Bait should be holding it up first because that was announced in May of last year. It's so stupid saying that. Happy Hell Night was later, so Happy Hell Night will be in first, and then Gator Bait, but it should be only maybe 2-3 weeks apart. Nightlife, who knows? Anything can happen. Diversified income. The Goth company is Never Not Goth. That is our clothing line. So any goth clothing, leather. Yeah, we kind of do everything. There's probably been stuff that I'm missing, honestly. Glad to hear about the fresh subtitles. As I said before, Arbor Day subtitles. It's we do custom subtitles for all of our movies. Aside if they're supplied from like a studio, then we have to use them. But if it's something where they don't have subtitles, then we can kind of do whatever we want. And our subtitle people, they know to have fun and be funny, because it's just a little extra enjoyment, a little bit, something to add. Too many companies use AI, and even though they're like 97% correct, there's no kind of heart in them, and we kind of like to be funny and make people laugh at our subtitles if you do watch them, which a lot of people do, I've discovered. Will you ever release 976 Evil? No, we will not. Well, I don't know. Possibly. We are doing some stuff with Sony in the future, and we're super excited about it. That's not one of them, but who knows? They may want to do a UHD themselves. I can also do that. I would love to do a UHD. The Blu-ray looks really cool, but I ain't gonna turn down 976 Evil. That's for sure. What is the deal with Rocktober Blood? So Rocktober Blood, we're still working on it. So we came across a lot of news articles that claimed that the version of a print screened in Tennessee at 3 different theaters. So we just had basically articles on that, but we couldn't prove that it actually played, because sometimes that happens, that movies will be promoted but they didn't play. So we basically were like, okay, let's give this another shot. Let's recontact everybody that we know that are print collectors that collect prints, and no one has heard of this. We even went by, there's several different names for the movie, so we checked those archives. We did find a couple different tapes, but that's about it. But we haven't found any film elements. We have one other lead that we are checking out now, and I don't know the status of it, but the person claims that they know where it is. But we have had this before. It's people that sometimes are lying to try to get money from us, and it just doesn't work. Like, we're not going to fall for it. It's been done a million times. We've heard it all before. Hawk Jones for Cellar Dweller. So you're probably, yeah, that was a kind of a hint that we were doing Hawk Jones probably a couple years ago. But yes, I will say Hawk Jones is coming from us. I don't know if it's going to be on Cellar Dweller. It kind of fits on Cellar Dweller, but it also feels like very much like a TerraVision release. The issue with Hawk Jones is the extras. My dog is biting my hand. She wants to play really bad. There she is. That's Ripley, one of our rescues. So yeah, Hawk Jones it's amazing because we were given so many extras for the film. They recorded everything. They recorded all the additions, even the kids not getting the roles. We have rushes, we have dailies, we have behind the scenes. I mean, we are talking, I don't even know how many hours of footage we have. And it's just been a lot to go through. And then also interviewing a lot of the people. So if people don't know who Hawk Jones is, it is a movie's played 100% straight, but it's all cast of between 3 and I think the oldest was like 8 of kids. And basically, just the crew were adults. So we found several of the children who are now, in their 40s and 50s. We are, obviously interviewing them, trying to get, oh, Steph's in here. We were just talking about how much I love you, Steph. We basically are just trying to scrub through that footage, get interviews with the actors, obviously trying to do something with Hawk Jones. His real name is Valiant. Incredible first name. So Valiant wants to be a part of it, the directors, Tor and Rico. So yeah, Hawk Jones is probably going to be a pretty big release as far as like how the packaging is, a booklet. Steph's even wrote a piece for it, I believe, a while ago. So yeah, Hawk Jones still coming. It's just a lot of work goes into each one of these. Even with the restorations on tape, like they take forever. They take the same amount of time as this film does, and just as much work goes into them. Yeah, would need you guys to put out Forever Evil is trapped in VC hell. I thought I heard Forever Evil was coming out by VCI. We tried working with VCI. I don't know if it will happen. I know Vinegar Syndrome obviously did a deal with VCI for some titles. Maybe I'll go back. They had some titles we wanted, but they've all been released, and I won't touch what's his name? The guy that made I like the movies, like Blood Cult. That guy that made those movies, he's not a good person. He's very, very bad. So I didn't want to partake in his releases. But those movies are dope, though. Aside from the Ripper. Ripper kind of sucks. Mostly Ripley wants to play. Yes. Ripley wants to play really bad. You guys to put a store in a museum somewhere on the East Coast. Yeah. Like, possibly. I mean, it depends on where you're talking about. It's just so if you know of someone that wants to do a museum or stuff, we could totally do that. Silent Death still coming. Yeah, Silent Death still coming. Another just thing with the negative. Needs a lot of work. A lot of the audio needs to be repaired. It's pretty awful sounding. Plus we still need to shoot extras. Finding some of those people are very hard. So Vaughn's helping us try to track some of them down. But the music has been completely restored for Silent Death, and it has one of the best scores I've ever heard in my life. So if you're lucky to catch it at any of the 2 screenings, I think we did 2 screenings. one in LA and then the other one in Chicago. Soundtrack is so good. Dogman 2. I don't know what those are. I know Dogman's a cartoon. We wouldn't be into that. Well, not in the like we're gonna do cartoons, but I think Dogman's like a new cartoon or something. If that's what you might be talking about, something else, maybe a movie I don't know about. I would love to know about it though. Upcoming releases for soundtracks. Not gonna leak anything, but whatever the batch of Clubber titles there were, I think there's maybe one or two more on those. But we have a lot of soundtracks coming up. There's some huge soundtracks that are more going to be complete as far as like all the music, because sometimes these record companies or companies, they put out the LP, but they don't include all the music that's been done for it. So yeah, we have a couple of those. Clown at Midnight on Blu-ray? No, possibly. That'd be a good title. I like that movie. Oh, Pizzal, what's up, dude? Hope you got your patchwork box. Yeah, Pizzal's a good guy. He always goes. I love Pizzal because am I pronouncing that name correct? His name's Justin. Justin has a YouTube channel. One of the best Blu-ray reviewers out there because he watches everything on the disc, and I always respected that because a lot of work goes into the extras, and sometimes people just want the movie, and that's fine. But you got to think sometimes these extras take like a year to film, and we put together and edit, and then no one watches it. It's kind of disappointing. Justin always watches those and gives like details and like stuff. So I love Close Enough. Yeah, I tried. Yeah, so go over to his channel. All really cool reviews. What is a very rare movie that you would love to see released? Fart, the movie. It's a real movie. It would be a great Cellar Dweller release. No, rare movie. I mean, we're doing a lot of them. Silent Death is one of them. And I mean, there's so many movies that I would love to see, and like, there's a lot of movies that I know that we can't do personally, because depending on like rights holders and stuff like that. I would love a lot to do a lot of things. But I think the big one is The Devils for me, which is coming out. Just because, I've seen it in HD, I've seen it in the theater, I've seen the whole, the cut version in the theater. I just want to be able to own that history because it's such a kind of a miraculous attempt of Kent Russell making a batshit crazy fucking movie. So I'm excited about that. As far as like rarities, I mean, we do it. There's so many movies that I love. We have this collection coming out on TerrorVision, consists of 3 movies. And the movies are crazy rare. We're actually taking a chance of releasing it in the US because there's music issues, but we kind of said, fuck it, who cares? Those are coming out, which I'm super excited about. You are tearing up my hand, Rip. Yeah. They are YouTube movies. Oh, well, send me the link on Twitter or, Discord or whatever it is. I would like to see them. I watch everything, so I'm down. Show us the dog. So, yeah, this is Ripley. She is the youngest that we have. She is great. She is an Australian Shepherd Husky mix, and this is her full-grown size. But she looks like a puppy. She's like going on. She's 3.5, so she's full size. But she's a big personality. She's great. Yeah, and then we have Winston, who's sleeping, and Jazz, who's sleeping because they know not to make noise during live streams. No, she did not. So yeah, I appreciate everybody being here, hanging out. It's been kind of like just a hangout session. But any closing comments? I do have to go here in just a few minutes, but happy to address any last minute concerns. I hope I addressed your concerns. Spread the word, because there's people like to make up their own stories sometimes. You know, I know there's people were concerned about the boxes. Someone mentioned about the boxes for shoestring slashers. These are not like that. As I told people multiple times on forums, Discord, that's been noted. Not going to happen again. This is kind of like our stuff, what we want to do, and what we want it to look like. We want it to look cool. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, and we'll be back full shebang. Hopefully, I would say maybe September. October. We're not doing 13 weeks again. That's for fucking sure. But we'll have some titles for October. Trust me. But yeah, I appreciate it, Steph. I absolutely adore you. Love you. And I will talk to you all later. Thank you so much. Oh, got to hit end. Yeah.